week 22, days 148 through 150. So day 148 was a hike into Stehekin, so I got up early and kind of like booked it the last 5 miles to the bus station because I wanted to catch an early bus, and the bus for Stehekin, there's one at like 9:15 and then the next one's after noon. So I wanted to make it in along with like a ton of other people. So at this point we were kind of like starting to hike in a bubble of people finishing the trail. So yeah, booked it, got a spot on the bus. The bus is pretty big, so I didn't really have to worry about that. But got the bus in early, stopped by the bakery. So the bus stops by the bakery for 10 minutes and then continues into the town of Stehekin. So I ran in there and they had gluten-free stuff. And they have gluten-free bread. So I got a couple things to take back into town. Went into town, set up camp and everything, and then went back to the bakery to eat lunch. So yeah, just relaxing day, hung out with fellow hikers. There were a ton there. And the next day, day 149, taking a Nero. So got in line for the post office because it was Monday. So the post office was closed on Sunday. And there was like a huge line, and there's only like one person who works at the post office in Stehekin. So if you're a future PCT hiker, I would recommend getting there early. And I had to pick up a box and then make up a box to send home. So I had to stand in the line twice. So I was spending like, I think I spent an hour and a half in line. So that made me late for the bus to get back to the trailhead, and the trailhead is kind of far away. So unfortunately missed that, but walked to the bakery, which is like 2 miles. So walked to the bakery, and then Stevie Wonder waited for me, which was really nice. So we just hung out at the bakery, ate like a ton of food. We got ice cream and lunch and like more desserts. So, and I packed out, they had this like carrot cake morning muffin that was gluten-free. They had these like cookie sandwiches that were gluten-free, and also this like caramel, I don't even know what it was, but it was amazing. This caramel dessert, like a bar. So packed a lot of that stuff out. And then I got a sandwich as well because they have gluten-free bread. So definitely recommend the Stehekin Bakery. They also had, not gluten-free, but for those of you who eat gluten, amazing like looking sticky buns and cinnamon rolls. So yeah, if you're a PCT hiker, definitely stop there and pack stuff out. Yeah, so we ended up catching the bus, I think it was like at 2:30 or something. So started hiking at 3:01 p.m. and rolled into camp at like 10 p.m. So it was a late night, and unfortunately it was like raining. So we were like hiking for hours in the rain with our headlamps on in the dark. So, but at least we got some time at the bakery, right? So yeah, next day was pretty like rainy in the morning, good old fashioned Washington weather. But luckily the sun came out later in the day. So, had some amazing views of the glacier wilderness. So yeah, I was kind of tired, so I was really hiking slow, and so many people were like passing me. So like rolled into camp pretty late again, I think at like 8 p.m. when it was getting dark. So I was happy to get into my sleeping bag though and like cook dinner. So yeah, I will give you an update soon for the rest of the week, which includes the Canadian border. Update for week 22, days 151 through 154. So day 151, beautiful day. I was getting a little nostalgic because I realized that was my last full day in Washington. So I took time to pick berries. The huckleberries are like perfectly ripe at that point. And just like took a lot of videos and pictures and hiked with Calzone and the crew, Stevie Wonder and TW. So yeah, just really like cherish the last day, full day in Washington. It was pretty cold and a little bit wet, but that's okay. We got some pretty nice views that day too. So rolled into camp. Actually, I had this like espresso snack, and I had 2 servings, and then I had like 5 espresso, chocolate covered espresso beans. So I had like so much energy at the end of the day. And at that point, I think we had like 12 miles to go. So I just like booked it. I didn't really stop except for like one water filtering break. But I was like hiking like a mad woman. So I got into camp like an hour and a half early. But luckily, there were a lot of people at that camp, and TW and Stevie Wonder were already there. So had dinner, set up, had a lot of laughs. And then next day, day 152 was the big day. So woke up somewhat early because we had kind of a big mile day to get into the Terminus. So woke up early and hiked out. There were some clouds, well, there were quite a few clouds, but we also got some nice views because there was like a little bit of wind and that sort of thing. So hiked, had our last climb of Washington. So hiked up to this, like the last beautiful viewpoint of the trail. And we had like a really great breakfast break there. So beautiful views. I'll give you guys, I'll show you footage of that, obviously. And then, yeah, just we were all in really high spirits and decided to hike together down to the Terminus. I think at that point we had like 8 miles or something. So hiked down to the Terminus. It was pretty surreal, and I was actually kind of nervous, even though this wasn't like the end of my trip. But I just got the jitters, and yeah, I was just like, I knew a big moment was coming. So hiked in, and there were a lot of hikers there. We were like hiking in a bubble for a while, so there were a lot of hikers there already, and they clapped for us, a la Kennedy Meadows, or everybody claps for you there. So they clapped for us when we got there, and we were just like in awe of the Terminus, and had been dreaming about it for months or years even, as a group. So yeah, I just took a lot of photos and videos, and took in the moment. It was a little bit more stoic, I guess. I mean, we were being a little bit silly, but yeah, we had lunch, and I packed out like a little bottle of champagne, so passed that around, and yeah, just took it in. Had lunch, staring at it, and kind of the divide. The trees are all cut down where the border line is, so that was interesting to see. So yeah, it was just so amazing, and to be surrounded by friends was awesome too. So I'm really glad I didn't hike in solo. It was great to be surrounded by the hiker community and people I've been hiking with for, gosh, thousands of miles, really. So yeah, it's kind of hard to explain the feeling seeing that. But anyway, then after that, we had an 8-mile hike to get to Manning Park. And this was not a walk in the park, unfortunately. I thought, oh, they'll go easy on us. But it was actually kind of intense. So a lot of climbing to get into Manning Park. And then there was like a little road walk. And unfortunately, the people at the Manning Park Resort didn't seem too hiker friendly, unfortunately. I thought we were going to have like a warm welcome and all that stuff, but we couldn't even get a room. And at the restaurant, they sent us like downstairs to the bar. So I don't know, it was fine, but it just didn't seem like they were too hiker friendly. But anyway, got a really nice meal in the bar to celebrate, and some drinks, of course. And yeah, we caught a ride with our friend Ragdoll back to Seattle. So got into Seattle pretty late. So day 153, we got to Seattle and finally found a hotel. For whatever reason, it was hard to find a hotel. We were like 0 for 3, and then finally La Quinta Inn had some availability, so we stayed there and took a 0 on day 153. And luckily there was like an outdoor mall near there, so I splurged and went to Chipotle because I haven't had that in a long time, and See's Candies, so that was nice. And then yeah, we just did chores and stayed in for kind of the evening and ordered, we ordered Cheesecake Factory to be delivered to us, which was such a splurge. So yeah, it was nice to be on a mattress, and the hotel was really nice there. And we actually, the La Quinta was nice, but we actually went to this newer hotel called Home to Suites. And so that's where we spent most of our day. And that was a really nice hotel too. So we ordered in there, just relaxed and got everything settled for the next day of flying. So day 154, went to the airport and flew from, Seattle to Reno, where some of our friends picked us up there. So I thought going into an airport and being surrounded by all the mayhem that I haven't been used to for like 6 months was going to be anxiety provoking, but it actually was fine. I'm pretty used to traveling, so it just kind of stepped right back into that. So it was kind of nice to just veg out on the airplane, and I had a layover, so just kind of chilling out and eating food and all that stuff. But anyway, yeah, so then our friends that we met at PCT days, Sharon and Eagleman, picked us up because they live in Reno, so it was so nice of them, and showed us the town and helped us with our chores. We'd already did laundry, but we had to resupply. So resupply to Trader Joe's and Walmart, so they were just like taking us around town. So yeah, that was really nice of them. And then they made us this like amazing enchilada dinner. So thank you, Sharon and Eagleman. It was amazing. Yeah, so epic week 22. And now we flip back down to Chester and hike southbound. So we are becoming southbound hikers. So anyways, that's going to be very exciting. And I will update you guys on our NorCal adventures soon. Summary for Washington. So Washington was overwhelmingly great. So many good things about hiking in Washington. My favorite part was Section J, which is right after Snoqualmie. So that was, I thought, the most beautiful section of Washington. I made notes of where I want to go back to. So yeah, just beautiful, beautiful views in the Northern Cascades. Also, Glacier Wilderness was really nice too. Yeah, just really beautiful sweeping views of the mountains and all that. And there was Green Tunnel as well, but just beautiful, beautiful country. Also, the Stehekin Bakery was like a highlight too. So if you're a PCT hiker, definitely recommend going there, which is normally your last stop before Canada. So pack out some good stuff from there. Also, I noticed that we were in a bubble a lot of the time. So just through hikers finishing the trail. Some parts of the trail are pretty secluded or desolate, but we happen to be in a bubble for most of Washington. So be ready for that if you're a hiker as well, possibly. Yeah, and there were a ton of lakes too, and the weather was such that it was great for swimming. So we swam in a lot of lakes. I didn't really start swimming in lakes until Oregon, and even then I didn't swim in like a ton. So swim in a lot of really beautiful lakes in Washington. So yeah, so many good things about Washington. Trying to think about the bad things. It actually, the weather held up as well. So we got really lucky. It rained maybe like 3 or 4 days, somewhat intensely, but otherwise we got lucky with the great weather. Obviously the northern terminus was amazing too. So yeah, so many great things about Washington. Not too many bad things, but one thing I do want to mention is A lot of the trail is unmaintained, especially in the glacier wilderness, so just be ready for that if you're gonna hike the trail. Lots of parts where it's like really skinny and overgrown, so especially in the second to the last section. So yeah, just be ready for that. But all in all, amazing state and amazing finish for most people to the trail at the northern terminus. No. Final stretch to the border from Stehekin to Canada. On day 2 right now, out of day 4, or 4 days. And it looks like we're getting some real Washington weather. We've really lucked out with the weather so far. It's been sunny most days, so now we're getting the rain. So hopefully it won't last, but we will see. Minus 2 days from Canada. As you can see, it's gotten pretty cold here. But kind of wanted to show you some scenes coming up to the terminus and obviously the terminus itself. So hope you enjoy. Getting in some last minute berry picking. They're perfectly ripe right now. These are huckleberries. Good morning. T-minus 0 days to Canada. So this is the day. And really beautiful views. Luckily it's not raining today. It is very cold, obviously. But graced with a beautiful day today. Oh.
I also peed on the border, but in 2016, and I was like, this feels wrong. I didn't pee on the border monument because people have to touch that. I just went up the hill. Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah.
Made it to the terminus.
Thanks, you guys. Yeah, I love how tiny it is. It's like a prime lens, so you can't actually zoom, but I love the...
So nice. And the shutter
Oh,
is
super loud.
Border.
Yeah. Oh, these are sweet. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Look what I wrote in the log.
Let me see. I had somebody ask me if I'm meeting cavemen.
Oh, was it the...
Gear update for week 22. So as I mentioned, I got a box in Stehekin with obviously like food and that sort of thing, resupply, and then some other things. So actually I ended up sending a lot of things home. So I received from REI, I got my new shoes, you can see. Not ripped because my other shoes ripped all the way across my Brooks Cascadia 14s. So was happy to get those shoes. And I sent my other shoes home so I could hopefully return to REI. What else did I get? Oh, well, I'll tell you what I sent home. Sent home my bucket because it's starting to get cold and I don't tend to like wash my feet and socks when it's freezing out at the end of the day. So sent those home. Sent home my leggings because I'm really loving these North Face pants. They're quick dry, they're really comfortable. So I think I might reunite with my hiking, Eddie Bauer hiking leggings in the Sierra. And I sent home my umbrella. So I had to part ways with that, especially because it was like kind of raining after as well. But my rain gear is good enough at this point. I'm trying to think. I think that's pretty much the main things I sent home. And yeah, I guess I didn't really receive too much gear at this point, but the shoes were great. And just one other note, my Big Agnes copper spur tent, I think I might have mentioned this before, but the zippers on the actual tent, not the rainfly, but the tent part, are failing. So luckily the one that kind of like shuts the door is still working if I like zip it a certain way. But the one at the bottom is not working at all, so it just splits. So I am now duct taping it closed until I get off trail, and then I'll send it back to Big Agnes for them to fix. But yeah, just kind of a fix until I'm done with the trail. So yeah, just got to deal with that. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for the gear for week 22, and I will update you on the gear situation in week 23 when I flip back down to Chester.